Hello students, in this video I shall be discussing class 10th poem How to Tell Wild Animals composed by Carolyn Wells. Let's discuss about the poet and introduction of the poem. Carolyn Wells was an American poet. In the poem How to Tell Wild Animals, she takes liberty. Liberty means freedom. She takes liberty with language and employs humor. Her humor tickles the reader's funny bone. She describes various wild animals like lion, tiger, bear, etc. in a very funny manner. Now, title description. The title questions how one can identify wild animals. But when we read this poem, we find that Carolyn tells very dangerous way to identify wild animals. So, title proves to be ironical. Ironical means to say something opposite to its meaning. The ways told are such that if we follow them, we can even lose our lives. Now, central idea with message conveyed. In this poem, characteristics of some wild animals are explained in a very funny way. Carolyn suggests some dangerous ways to identify wild animals. The words used are not only humorous but ironical also. For example, the Bengal tiger is noble. Yes, the Bengal tiger is noble but eats you the moment he notices you. This poem also gives us the message that one must be beware of wild animals. Students, now before starting the stanza explanation, let me read out the poem How to Tell Wild Animals. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it's the Asian lion. Or if sometime when roaming round, a noble wild beast greets you, with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it's the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain, he will only lap and lap again. When you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard. Be sure it's a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess, he will give you just one more cares. Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus, the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyena come with merry smiles, but if they weep they are crocodiles. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it's the chameleon you see. Now, difficult words. Tawny, that is brownish. Beast, wild animal. Strolling, walking freely. Peppered, scattered. Novice, beginner, a kind of inexperienced one. Nonplus, confused. Chameleon, a lizard-like small animal. Now, the paraphrasing of the poem. If you by chance go to East Jungle, you may find huge brownish animal coming towards you. If it starts roaring at you, you will feel as if you are dying. So that is a Asian lion. So this is a way how you can tell which animal it is. It is a Asian lion. Next, if you are roaming and a grand, majestic animal welcomes you. It has yellow colored skin with black stripes over it. He jumps on you to eat you up. Then a simple rule is that is a Bengal tiger. If you are freely walking and meet a beast whose skin has spots scattered all over, he jumps as he sees you, then that beast is a leopard. But if you cry in pain on seeing him, it will be of no use. He will jump at you again and again. Next, if you are walking around your courtyard, you may meet a creature there. If he hugs you, that is, embarrasses you very hard, it is a bear. If you have any doubt, he will give you another loving touch. He will give you another touch. For novice, novice means for beginner. For beginner, it is difficult to distinguish wild animals, but it's easy to distinguish between a crocodile and a hyena. Hyena is a wild animal like dog. In Hindi it is called as lakkar bagha. Hyena always come smiling. Hyena always come smiling happily. But if they are weeping, they are crocodiles. Next is the true chameleon is small. Chameleon is a small creature like lizard. Chameleon is girgit. It neither has ears nor wings. If you don't find any creature on tree, then chameleon is sitting there. So on that tree, chameleon is there when no other creature is sitting. Now, dear students, let's move towards the literary devices. This poem is written in 6 stanzas, 6 lines each. Each stanza tells how to identify different wild animals. First, let's discuss rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme we decide according to the last words of the line. Rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, C, C. Same A, B, C, C. So this is followed throughout the poem. Same rhyme scheme is followed throughout the poem. For this, look here. Chance rhymes with advance. Chance, advance. So A. East rhymes with beast. So B. Dine with lion. So C. In this way, you will try all the rhyme words which are rhyming and you will be easily able to do. Okay. Next is enjambment. Enjambment is continuation of a sentence to next line without any punctuation mark. Same idea is conveyed through to the next line. Look here. Third line, stanza 1, third line. And if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast. So this is called as enjambment. Next is at stanza number 4, line number 1 and 2. Look here. It when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there. So this is also enjambment. Now, next is assonance. Assonance, repetition of vowel sound. Vowel sounds are A, E, I, O, U sounds. Look at stanza 1, line number 1. You should go. O is prominent, so this is assonance here. Okay. Again, you can say in Line number 3, stanza 1. Should, to, you. Prominence of O, so this is also assonance. Next is consonance. Consonance is, it is here. Consonance is repetition of consonant sound. Look, repetition of consonant L. Lep and lep again. He will, only, lep and lep again. L, 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 L. So this is called as consonance. Next is allusion. Allusion is reference to the famous thing. In the poem, many famous things, they are used as references. Allusion is reference to famous thing. Asian lion. Next is Bengal tiger. So this is allusion. Next poetic device is inversion. When structure of a sentence is changed by the poet to create rhyme. Look here. Stanza 1, line number 3. And if there should to you advance. Poet has written, and if there should to you advance. He has not written, and if there should you advance, because he wanted to create a rhyme. So this is called as inversion. Next literary device is alliteration. Alliteration is repetition of similar sounds at beginning of the words and mostly consonant sounds. Look, sound of R at the start of two or more closely connected sentences. In stanza number 2, roaming round. So R, they are repeating. So this is called as alliteration. Next poetic device is repetition. Repetition is simple repeating of words within short space. Look, stanza 3, line number 6. Lep and lep again. Lep and lep, that is repetition. Last is poetic license. Poetic license is liberty to the poet to change the spelling to create rhyme in his poem. Use of lept, L-E-P-T. Correct spelling of lept is L-E-A-P-T, but she has written L-E-P-T. So this is poetic license which is used. Okay. So all the poetic devices have been explained. I hope you like this video. If you have any doubt, do write to me in comment section. Happy learning. Bye-bye.